Tom, a hugely frustrating afternoon. Unpick that one for us.
Yeah, very frustrating. For 60 minutes we did exactly what we planned to do, which was frustrate and to find our little pockets in certain areas, which we did. I thought in first half, I don't think Flitz really had a save to make, but obviously they had quite a bit of the ball, but we were punishing them in certain ways where it meant we got in behind them and we had half chances. So really pleased with that aspect of it. Second half came out and did the same thing, continued to frustrate them, and I felt like it started to come. I felt like we had a chance of coming away with a 1-0 win and things like that. Game changed obviously on the red card when they got their man sent off. Obviously changed the game, so we adjusted what we were trying to do, which was be more positive with the ball, which we did, and I thought we did that quite well. And then when we're being positive, to some extent, it's just a long free kick into the box, caught in the wind. Charles 50-50 whether he gets the right or the wrong side. Anyway, the ref gives him a very soft free kick, a penalty against him, 1-0, and we're hurting. And to be honest, very disappointed with the decision, but it is what it is. Sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't. But ultimately, that's probably what beat us. We then obviously went full hog for that last 5 minutes or so, chucked myself on up front, all that sort of stuff, where we've just tried to throw bodies forward and then a pinch one right at the very end again. And obviously before that, Charlie bin Simbin to make the even 10v10 or whatever it was. So frustrating that we haven't come away with anything in a game that I felt we were good for a 0-0 bare minimum. And then with the red card before, obviously probably a soft penalty, I felt like we was going to go on and score one or maybe even two. So frustrating as you alluded to at the start.
The old saying goes that you have to earn the right against 10 men, 9 men, and I suppose you probably didn't quite do enough going forward when they had gone down to 9 men to get something this afternoon.
Yeah, and maybe that's due to when you're trying to play nice football on that pitch at the moment, obviously it's getting used a lot of time because we're a community facility, so moving the ball quickly isn't easy, so it suited you when you're down to, almost when they're down to 10, it just means they can just step in and be compact. They just went 4-4-1. And that just meant that it was hard to break down, and obviously when you can't move the ball quickly, it is tough. So it was obviously difficult, but regardless of that, we had enough in our team and enough quality to go on and win, which obviously sadly we didn't do. So been punished from 2 errors really. I say maybe Charlie's the wrong side of the man that gives the ref half a chance to make a decision. I thought it was a poor decision, but it's what it is. And then second one, we've got a free header to head away, and it's not a sliced header. And then the lad picks it up, last kick of the game, and whacks it in from 30 yards. So sometimes it's not your day. And it's frustrating because of the hard work that we've been doing to give ourselves a foothold in that game. So yeah, disappointing. There's a few of us that need to have a little look at maybe doing things a little bit with a bit more quality, a bit more speed. But again, pitch can sometimes be a limiting factor, which is a very frustration for mine. It's been my frustration since I've been here for a long time. So I don't think that'll change anytime soon unless Dean manages to pull off his amazing project that we're optimistic about. But for the short term, we're going to have to deal with this sort of stuff. We're going to have to deal with trying to break teams down when you can't move it quickly. Maybe then we have to resort to a more direct approach, which none of us really want to do. We want to play good, exciting football to keep the fans coming. They do in spades for us.
I thought it was a really disciplined first half defensively, particularly as you say, you looked like you could really go and get something, and then we questioned the decision making a bit. So, for example, the free kick for the first goal there, is that something you need to start cutting out?
They're individual errors for me. They're things that we can't necessarily account for. I think what you've got to do is so on a Saturday, if I make an individual error, I'd like to think the other 10 on the pitch are going to pull something out of the bag and save the day for me, sort of thing. For me, yeah, soft free kick to give away, which again, we didn't think it was a free kick. So another frustrating one with the man in the middle. But again, sometimes at this level, that's what we deal with. Delivery into the box. But again, for me, from the delivery in the box, we should do better. Whether that's Flitz, maybe as you say, if Charlie's the wrong side of the man, maybe young Liam can come and save the day and claim it. I don't know. I need to look at it back. But ultimately, frustration again from a game that we were very strong, we were very disciplined, and for me it had 1-0 written all over it for a long period. Maybe them losing a man suited them, because it meant that we had to be really positive and chuck bodies forward and really make and go for them 3 points that we're obviously crying out for at the moment, and that exposed us at the back and maybe just changed our little mindset, and we were punished for it.
You've had 3.5 weeks off in the end, which is a strange feat for December.
Yeah.
What have you been up to in that time, and what have we been working on?
Trying to get bodies back through the door, to be totally honest. We've had a lot of injuries. Fenny, Rushy, Lenny, Flitz has had niggles, Watty's had niggles, Max has had niggles. I obviously was struggling today, so couldn't play. Charlie's struggling with a couple of things. So it was basically getting bodies back fit enough to field a team. And we're virtually there now. Obviously, you've got myself and Rushy still. But I would expect us both to be available potentially Saturday. So we'll go from there. In terms of what we've been doing, obviously we've been looking at tactics for today, having another option, another string to our bow in a change of formation, which I thought we did really well. I thought in the defensive aspect of that we did really well. In training the offensive aspects, we've been doing really, really well as well. So it's something that we may look at more long term. But again, it's hard to think about all the things we've been doing well off the pitch for the last 3 weeks or so, when today's, as you say, has been frustrating. But we keep doing what we can. So we're training off the pitch on a lovely 4G at the moment to try and save the pitch, and stuff like that. So we're doing everything I can to give ourselves the best opportunity. Individual errors and maybe official decisions that maybe don't go our way, they're what killing us again. But you can't blame them all day and every day. We've got to do a bit more. And I said this a month ago. When things aren't going right for you, do a bit more, work a little bit harder, eat better, go to the gym, whatever it may be. Do that little bit more than you did last week, did the week before, and that's the only way you improve.
And you'll need that little bit more with 3 massive derby games coming up over the festive period. I'm sure you're all looking forward to them, and it's an opportunity to put today behind you.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this one first. We'll process this one tonight, and then we move on to next one, another big one in Deepin. I think we owe them, because again, I think they had 0 shots on targets but beat us with a deflected goal here. So look forward to putting that right and hopefully coming away with 3 points. And then almost a must-win against Pinchbeck. They're sadly whipping boys a little bit this season, and we've got to make sure we're one of them teams that are getting 3 points as well. So yeah, we'll keep doing what we've been doing, and we won't be a million miles away. But we'll learn from the small errors we're making, and try and do things again slightly better every week. Progress, not perfection. Do it a little bit more, and it'll come. Simple as that.